Hello fellow simmers, it's Samuel Beeman of BLS here and welcome back to Train Sim World 6. So you're probably wondering why I'm actually doing this video, because you would have thought that Daniel Wyatt would be doing this video on this particular piece of content because, he enjoys making TSW6 content for the channel, but no, unfortunately he hasn't done this one. But however, he has actually done a video on his own channel for this, and I will link it in the description of the video if you want to go and see his views of this new Great Western Express release. So we're going to be looking at the Great Western Express Remastered, which has just been released by Dovetail Games. And I have had a brief look at it. I had a brief look at it last night, mainly because I just wanted to explore the fact that it has tube trains now around Paddington. But yeah, so what's interesting about this as well is we actually have two different timetables that have been added as well. So we've got obviously the centre one is a Diesel Legends of the Great Western, which is a separate DLC. So we're not going to look at that. But the main things that we're going to be looking at and being interested in is Great Western Express 2016, which this includes the Class 66. In particular, there is the Class 66 mod that I have installed, White mod. I believe it's from the TS community. We've got the Class 47/4 BR ScotRail. That's again another mod which has been installed by Daniel. Well, it's installed and it was from Daniel Wyatt, and it's actually available on BLS and Train Sim Community. So yeah, it's really interesting and great to see that that's layered in there. We've got the Class 52 in blue. We've got the HST and the Class 165. So this is sort of your 2016 era. There's not a great deal of variety. There's little bits and pieces here and there, but there's not a major amount of variety. However, we've got this one here, which is Great Western Express 2017, and this one is very, very big, and it's got very interesting variety of locomotives and rolling stock that layer in from other DLCs. So once again, we've got the Class 66. We have the Class 350/1, which has been added in from the West Coast Mainline route, I believe. We've got the Class 47/8 West Coast Railways. Now that's an interesting one because that's actually a mod that we've been working on for Train Sim World. It's the West Coast Railways Class 47. There is actually an exclusive preview of that, which we filmed, I believe, last year at some stage, showing off what we've done so far on it. Again, I'll link that in the description if anyone wants to go and have a look at the mod that we're working on. But yeah, so that is an upcoming mod for both BLS and Train Sim Community. So that layers in there, which is great. Obviously, you guys won't have it. We've got the Class 37/7 Europhoenix. So this was from the Europhoenix Class 37 DLC, which is a DLC for the London Faversham route. I believe it was London Faversham. Or it's Faversham. Oh, I can't remember where the route goes to now. But yeah, I'm pretty certain it's London to Faversham. But yeah, we've also got obviously the standard Class 43 HST. We've got Flying Scotsman, which has been layered in from the Flying Scotsman DLC. We've got the Isle of Wight Class 484, where you have the London Underground reskin that comes with this for the Isle of Wight's Class 484. So you need the Isle of Wight 2022 route for that to show. I believe they've reskinned it to the London Underground to kind of somewhat resemble the S stock, I believe, or actually it might have been the D stock at the time. That's probably why they did it. I can't actually remember when the D stock went out of service, so it may have been the D stock. Anyway, so we've got obviously the bog standard Class 165. Now, I'm not entirely sure, but there's a possibility that the Riviera line might layer into this as well for the Class 801s or 802s, I think. Don't quote me on that, though, because I don't think they were around in 2017, if I can recall. I'm not sure on that. If anyone knows in the comments, let me know. But, yeah, so what we'll do is we're just going to spawn in, really, and have a little look round Paddington Station to start off the video. And then we'll have a little look round of other areas. So we'll start off with the Great Western Express 2017 timetable, and we'll start on foot. We'll just have a walk round. So you can see here we've got obviously all the locos that layer in. So we'll go on foot, and we'll head over to Paddington because we want to see Paddington. I think everyone wants to start somewhere, and most of the time it would be London Paddington because it's a very interesting looking area. So we'll play now and we'll have a little look round. So as I say, I have briefly played this route previously. I must say it has improved. It does look a lot better than the previous counterpart. It certainly is a lot more detailed. The texturing is a lot better, and the overall look of it looks a lot better as well. So we can see here we're loading into London Paddington Station, a very busy atmosphere, which is what we like to see. So London Paddington feels more alive now. You know, you can actually, you know, there's a busyness to it, which is great. So obviously we've got the, you know, standard class 166 that you get with the route. So obviously we've got this with the route from day one. Obviously quite a nice model, not too bad. It's nice to see that, and that's now actually been exported over to Train Sim Classic now, thanks to Alan Thompson Simulations. We've done a new 166 pack, and we've got the HST there, which also comes with the route, and it's now departing towards Slough and Reading. So one of the interesting things about Paddington now is usually you wouldn't be able to gone beyond these gates here, so this would have stopped you with an invisible barrier, as far as I know, with the previous route. But you can now actually go through these barriers and come out more to the concourse here.
Platform 8 is the 1006 Great Western Railway service to Penzance, calling at Reading, Taunton, Exeter St David's, Newton Abbot, Totnes, Plymouth, Liscard, Bodmin Parkway, Parr, St Austell, Truro, Redruth, Camborne, St Erth, and Penzance. Will passengers intending to travel on this service please join the train now, as it is ready to leave. Platform 8.
There you go, it's going to take a little while to keep going. But you can hear that there's brand new announcements as well. We can't go any further than this, there is an invisible barrier here unfortunately. But yeah, we've got some nice new announcements that come with the route as well, which is great. It makes it sound a lot more realistic than what it was previously. We also have these as well, which are route hops. So if we press E, we can actually hop to West Cornwall local, so that will take us to Penzance. And if we head over to here, we've also got another route hop over here near the underground sign. I think some of you can guess, you know, where this leads us to. So we get to go to the Bakerloo line, the London commuter, South Eastern High Speed, and Euston to Milton Keynes routes. Obviously, you know, you can hop to these routes if you have them installed in your Train Sim World installs. So over here we have the class 350, which is a 350 reskin. So this is again another new piece of rolling stock that comes with the Great Western Express Remaster. And yeah, it's nice to have it here. It's nice to have you know, different pieces of rolling stock being added to this version of the route. So if we head through here, we get towards the tube stock in a minute. Yeah, this is the 350. Obviously inside, obviously it's still the London Midland livery. It hasn't been reskinned on the inside, which is a shame, but you know, that's not too much of an issue. There is a bit of a weird collisions around here, like there's random invisible barriers that just hit you in places. You'd notice as I walk along, there you go, again. I don't know what that's all about or why that's there, it's a little bit of a bug. But if we come over to here, we see the class 484 stock, which is masquerading for the D stock, I believe, in this particular time. But yeah, that is the new 484 reskins that come with the Great Western Express Remaster. And you know what? It's not too bad. It, you know, it does what it needs to do. It, you know, we've got a 350 departing now. You see, there's so much to see. You know, there's lots to. It's a busy London atmosphere, which is great. You know, it feels more alive. Oh, also we've got this as well. This is a new livery that comes with the route as well. We've got this first Great Western livery variant with the route. I don't know if this is a mod or this is what comes with the Great Western Express Remaster, but I'm going to hazard a guess it's probably something that comes with the remaster because I haven't seen it around before. And yeah, it's sort of the unbranded first Great Western, so it sort of like resembles the transition period between the two liveries, the new introduction of the Great Western livery and the former first Great Western liveries. So there is some very good pro points to this. Obviously, overall, the route does look a lot better, lighting-wise, and just the overall look of it. The new reskins and new additions to the route, like the 484, you know, the 166 liveries and the HST even, because we've got HST livery as well. So we can see we've also got the blue First Great Western HSTs within this as well. However, I still think this route runs like crap. Like, the frames are just really not good. I've never got good frame rates on this route. It's always been a bit of an issue with it, and it still persists even to this day. So I've never really thought that the route itself has ran very nicely and very smoothly. This is one of Dovetail Games' first routes for Train Sim World, so I can understand it being not necessarily the best to oppose to some of the newer routes that have been released. But yeah, definitely frame rate wise, this route is not the best, and that's just my opinion on that. It could be different for other people, it could just be, you know, my settings or something, but I just feel that the frame rates are just not as good as some of the other routes that I play in Train Sim World, and that's just my honest opinion on that. So yeah, so I think as we've had a look around London Paddington, we'll have a little drive or something and drive along the route, and we'll give it a little drive along, and we'll see you guys in a minute. Okay guys, so after several attempts of trying to load the bloody route up without it crashing, here we are again with the Train Sim World Great Western Express Remaster. So we're going to be driving the 1 Lima 10 Worcester South Shrub Hill, Worcester Shrub Hill to London Paddington service in a X First Great Western HST. And yeah, it's around 7:30 in the morning, and yeah, it should be an interesting run. So yeah, so unfortunately I have noticed a couple of times that this route appears to make my game crash, which is a bit annoying because you know, it's just not what you want really. This route's always been a bit of a pain in the backside for me. And it's still, in all honesty, performance wise, it hasn't changed. It just looks better, you know. It's so yeah, I will be brutally honest there. It's performance wise, it's not brilliant, but yeah, anyway, let's get started. So we've got a nice sort of morning sunlight there, which looks quite good. We'll unlock the doors. If I could remember how to drive one of these things, it would be nice, wouldn't it, as well? Driver's buzzer. DRA set. Away until 7:36. 166 departing Reading there. So texturing looks a lot better here. This is obviously Reading, the other end of the line. So we started at the London Paddington end and we're now at Reading. Plenty of variety. Yeah, it's looking quite good. It's got the First Great Western blue livery. I don't know whether it's the correct shade of blue or not, but you know, it's not too bad. It's nice to see it. I thought we'll give the first, you know, X First Great Western livery, you know, a bit of a spin because, you know, it's something a bit different. So we're nearly at departure time now, so we'll get in. Sounds haven't changed much. Cab interior is looking quite nice though. Got sort of nice weathering textures. Looking a bit beaten up. That's what we like to see. Got instrument lights on. We'll lock our doors now. How do you set the AWS in this thing? I forgot how you set up the AWS. Oh, it's been ages since I've driven one of these. Oh, maybe it's automatic on this. I mean, it's TSW. Sometimes it's not as it's not as advanced as some of Armstrong Powerhouse's stuff in TS Classic. So. Still got the old rubbish sounds. Well, at least we're moving, that's something. So it's a straight run down to London Paddington. Straight express. Total of 35 miles. That horn is stupidly quiet. It's far too quiet. I think I should have my night lights on during this time, because it's still technically quite dark. Or not, no. No, it's day in it. Oh, so it hasn't got the AWS turned on. Well, I would be able to turn it on if I knew how to bloody do it. You watch, I'll find it in a minute. Where the bloody hell is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, well, we're sorted now. It's been in front of my face the whole time. See, look, the frames to me they look really sort of juddery. They just... There you are, now it's kind of gone smooth again. And bear in mind it was like that on the old version of the route as well. It's never run well. And we get the odd, tile stutter. The usual DTG features for games. I've noticed that they're actually releasing a new game now, Thomas and Friends Wandering Around Sodor. We'll cover that in another video at some point, but that was an interesting thing to see. There's certainly a lot to cover within Train Sim World as of late. I will admit the route does seem a lot less boring. I mean, when I used to drive this on the old version of the route, I found this just so boring. So not only did it run like arse, but it was boring as well. It was just one of those routes that I would never touch. So it's good to see that it's had a bit of work done, and it's been brought up to a more modern standards, and it's had a bit of attention to it. It feels a lot more interesting and more refreshed, as it were. But it still runs like crap. But it just does. I just don't feel that this is running very smoothly. It feels shitty. It just feels sluggish and juddery, and it just, to oppose to some of the other routes I've driven on the game. The game, I call it a game because it's more of a game than a sim at this point. With with just in general, it just doesn't feel very smooth. And then, there'll probably be some people who are like, oh, well, they've added more trains, or, oh, they've added more of this and all that. No, there still shouldn't really be any excuse for this, because it ran like this on the old version as well. It's not just a thing for this new version. It's always ran shite. The variety of traffic, though, has definitely much improved. I will give it that. We just passed a couple of 166s back there. There's a nice variety of traffic. This is, especially at 7:30 in the morning, it would be a very busy time for the railways. Because this would be where people would be commuting to work and stuff like that. So, to have plenty of AI traffic moving around is definitely a good point of this. So I'll be interested to hear other people's comments on the new Great Western Express Remaster. What do you guys think to it in the comments? Does your version in your game run pretty poorly? Is there anything you particularly like about it? Is there some good points and some bad points that you both like and dislike about it? We're really interested to hear your feedback on the new upgraded version of the route as well. Another 166. So GWR livery is more predominant because at this time the first Great Western livery would have been starting to be phased out. So again, it's another good factor of this. Is you sort of got that that immersion of the transitional period between the two liveries, which I quite like as well. So we've not got to the famous 125 miles per hour yet, but we will get there. 124. Yeah, that horn is just far too quiet. 125 miles per hour, look at that. Set it to idle for now and let the train coast along. Another HST, first Great Western colours. I'm liking the motion of the cab as well, how it's swaying and bumping around. It's very realistic. Gives you that sense of movement. As I say, the sounds are still terrible on HSTs, but I would assume that there is some good sound mods available on Train Sim Community which will prevent that from being so terrible. I feel sorry for the console users though, who can't have mods. I can remember when this route was first announced for Train Sim World, it was 2017, so this route is relatively old actually. (2017), so what is that? That's coming up to 10 years old actually, so in 2027 that'll be 10 years old. So I can remember being at Old Oak Common Open Day, the final Old Oak Common Open Day that they're ever going to do. And Dovetail Games were there actually promoting Great Western Express, and they had a little setup where you could have a little trial run of and demo of their upcoming route. And yeah, this was the first UK route Dovetail Games produced for Train Sim World. In fact, I can remember like it was yesterday. It was crazy. 10 years just flew by. You'll notice that my HUD is slightly different to everyone else's as well now, because Dan actually showed me how to change the HUD so I don't have the big old circular speedometer down at the bottom corner. And now I'm actually relying on the top banner on the left hand side, the top left hand side, so I can have a look at what speed I'm going and all of that, so it's not too in your face, if that makes sense. This route does run very poorly, on my end anyway. I'd always like for anyone else, just let me know in the comments if it runs pretty naff on your end as well, but as I say, it's always ran not to the best of standards. It's always been an issue, this route. I've never known it to run very smoothly, even from day one. But I would be interested to see if anyone else is having these really sort of sluggish feeling, of the stuttering and the frame rate spikes. Oh, I've got a 350 there. Because if it is just me, then I might need to have a look at my settings, but as I say, I'm certainly not impressed with how it's running, at least on my end anyway. Not sure whether it's a global thing or not. I'm loving the bumping over the points. That's really cool. Oh, we've got some freight wagons over to the right hand side. Maybe there might be a 66 or something in the siding. No, is the answer. .166 in the first Great Western livery, or ex first Great Western. Oh shit! No! My thumb finger hit the wrong button. I think I just about got away with that. Oh, blimey, we've gone back down to 100 now. Well, 66 is over to the left. DB Schenker one I saw. Brake rub sounds sound pretty weird, I must admit. .350 over to the left. Yes, this is Old Oak Common now. So the interesting thing about Old Oak Common is obviously, and this is why they had to, well, the latest timetable that they've introduced for this route had to be 2017, because Old Oak Common closed in 2017, and it wasn't long after that it actually got demolished, or, well, most of it did. So because they modelled Old Oak Common, it had to be, you know, around that period of it still being there. So that is why they've gone with the 2017 timetable for the route. So what we'll do when we get back to London Paddington, what I'll do to round off the video is I'll drive a tube train. Because, as I say, one of the interesting things about this that I was interested and drawn into was the fact that you can actually drive the tube trains on the route now. Now that's, I mean, it's not very long. I think it's only like 3 stations, but the fact that that feature's been added in and you can actually drive the tube stock, I think, you know, that's very interesting. You know, it just adds another feature to the route, and I think that's just brilliant. And then if you guys would like to see me do another video on this particular route, the Great Western Express Remaster, if you want me to do a video on the 166 or any other factors about the route, let me know in the comments. We seem to be coming up to a red signal after this, so we need to make sure that we slow down. Drivability wise, the HST, you know what, it's not too bad. It drives nicely. It feels pretty realistic for driving a locomotive. So what we'll do is we'll creep up towards the next signal, which is red. I can see the gantry ahead. Nice bit of AI coming out of Paddington here. We've got the HST to the right, along with, I believe, another one beside it. There we are, 2 HSTs. got a yellow now, so that's good.
We are now approaching London Paddington.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform, and take care when stepping down from the train.
Okay, I very much like that. That is very, very cool. I did not know that they have onboard announcements. That's new. Fair enough. Fair play, Dovetail Games. That is very, very good. Very immersive. I like it. And one of the things I did notice last night as well is when you're actually travelling on the tube train, because I did a passenger run on the tube train, when it comes up to the whistle boards on the tube, the tube stock actually does the whistle. You know, again, you know, it's things like that which is just added to the realism of this route, and that's just brilliant. Yes, they've actually got AI scripted whistles and horns now, which is really nicely done. Yeah, so I think we've got the all clear into the platform now, as far as I can see. I can't see any signals up ahead stopping us within the platform itself, so I think this is a case of actually arriving into the station now. So that is a very nice scene there. Just got a nice little screenshot there. I think we should consider getting. See if we can pull up onto the blocks. It does sound good coming into here, especially with the announcements going off in the station. It is very immersive, I will give them that. Loving the clock at the top there as well, 8:04. Showing real time. Oh, just a little bit too early there, but you know, it will do. That's not terrible. Another HST coming in there. Taking a while to unload the passengers, isn't it? Do we lock the doors yet? There we go. And there we go, performance breakdown. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's see if we've got a level up. So this is where the game aspect comes in. In fact, you have to level up and stuff like that. I think it's not really needed, really. I mean, some people take it seriously, but I don't really care. Anyway, so my score is, what is that? Is that a silver? Okay, well, silver, I'll take that. Speeding a couple of times. Obviously, I used the safety systems a bit late because I couldn't find the AWS button. But, you know, silver, I'll take that. It's not terrible. So there we have it, guys. So our next look will be of the tube train. I will drive the tube train from London Paddington to the last station, which I forget the name. And yeah, we'll end off our video, and I'll share my overall thoughts and opinions of my look at the Great Western Express remaster by Dovetail Games. So I'll see you over at the tube train. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so here we are with 214-7 Aldgate to Hammersmith on the 8:37 service from London Paddington to Westbourne Park. So that's the last station on the underground route that we have on Great Western Express. So it's using the Isle of Wight Class 484 stock from the Isle of Wight 2022 DLC. And yeah, and this also has a mod installed to it as well. So we've got the Train Simulator Community mod added to it as well. So the sounds aren't default; they're actually, you know, they're improved from the standard default sounds. So what we'll do is we'll get started and get on our way to Westbourne Park. So it's been a little while since I've driven this. I cannot, again, you know, it's going to be one of those ones that I can't necessarily remember what does which. We've got the guards buzzer there. So we need to find out where the AWS stuff is. Yeah, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm going to assume that I just put the AWS cutting switch on. Oh, I need to unlock the doors actually. There we go. So it's going to be an interesting drive because obviously, you know, it's London Underground, so obviously we're used to just having the Bakerloo line. This is just like a little extra little thing that we can do that's new with the remastered version of the route. Okay, so this is dual braked. Off we go. Oh, so we're actually running a bit late actually as it happens. We've got to speed up. Try and get there on time. Just because I was messing around with the AWS trying to find it. Yeah, I'm definitely not used to driving this. Definitely not. But yeah, it's quite a nice little unit. Obviously, it's from the Isle of Wight. The reskin's all done, on the outside, but the interior is all the same. $484,001. Alright, so we can lock the doors now. And get underway. Little toot of the whistle. It's quite a consistency of tube traffic. That's quite good. We like to see that. Because obviously this... Oh, a whistle there. Because obviously, the tubes... There is quite a consistent amount of traffic. Like trains every so often. Speeding now. It's actually quite a challenging little route to drive on, to be fair, all things considered. But yeah, so that whistle board back there, the actual AI traffic does toot the horns as you go past it. And yeah, this is basically it really. So this is the last station, Westbourne Park. So there's not really much, it's not really much of a route, as it were, for the underground trains, but, at least we get to drive a little section of it, it's a nice little feature. Something new, something different. So fair play. And there we go. That was a service. Very quick and easy. But what we'll do is, before we end off our video, I'll quickly show you the AI horns in action. So we'll return to free roam and jump on the service opposite. He says. We can get there in time. This is a Westbourne Park, in case anyone wants to know. Unfortunately, we can't hop over the footbridge because it wasn't modelled at the time, because, Okay, there we are. So we're going to have to do an illegal over here and just walk across the track, which you shouldn't be able to do, but yeah. Oh, that was close. But you'll be able to see what I mean by the AI traffic in a minute, as we leave. Oh, he's just opened the doors again, hasn't he? It's 484004. Yeah, the model's not too bad. It's, it's as to be expected from the Isle of Wight 2022 DLC. Livery application's relatively nice. It gives that London Underground look. It does the job. As I say, the interior's identical to the Isle of Wight. We've even got some of the Isle of Wight, you know, posters and things like the Island 9 posters. We've got a nice London one there, mind. That was HST. Fighters. And there you go. That is the AI doing the whistle there, which I just think is brilliant. So they've actually added AI's, you know, whistle functionality. Also, I can't help but notice I think the frame rates have somewhat improved now that I've been playing this for a bit longer than what I started with. So whether it's just the fact that you need to sort of be playing this for a little while for it to kind of settle, I do not know. But definitely at the beginning of this, as you saw, it was very juddery at the start. It's a Great Western HST. So maybe it's just one of those cases that you have to play the DLC a few times before it, you know, settles itself to run a bit smoother. As this station is, oh, I hate it when it does that with the collisions on TSW. This station is Royal Oak. Have a brief look round here. We'll have a fly around. Just have a look.
24-hour CCTV recording is in operation at this station.
Just a bog standard little station. Yeah, as I say, because originally you couldn't drive along these, you know, areas. The station models themselves are not necessarily fully modelled like they would be for the rest of the route. So obviously footbridges and stuff are not necessarily accessible. There's a 165. Suspension there. There it is again. Whistle. Yeah. So we are still getting little judders here and there. It's, as I say, it's not perfect. But here we are back at Paddington Station. And we've got a route hop here. Let's just go to main platforms. Does it take you there? Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So you can switch between go to underground platforms or main platforms. Fair enough. The 166 departing over there now. Yeah, definitely it's a lot more action-packed than the previous version of the route. And I'll definitely say it's had some improvements. But obviously the only things that does gripe my gears with it is the performance. You know, how it's slightly stuttery and laggy. And I've always had that with this route, even prior to the update. But to be fair to Dovetail Games, they've done a really good job on this Great Western Express Remastered edition. So fair play to you guys. You know, I like all the addition of all the extra services. I like the new timetable mode. You know, I like the fact that you've got a choice between 2016 and 2017. Obviously the main focus in this video has been the 2017 one because it's the newest one. We will maybe have a look at the 2016 one in another video perhaps, but I'm going to hazard a guess it's probably just the old timetable that was included with the old version of the route, so probably not really much difference there. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think to the new Great Western Express Remastered Edition is like. What do you think of it? I'll be interested to hear your comments. But to be fair, it's not terrible. It has got, you know, a few little bits and pieces that I'm not too keen on, as you've heard within the video. But overall, it's not too bad. Is it something that I'd continue to drive on, you know, continuously? Probably not, because I mean, if the performance improves with however many times I drive it, then maybe I would continue to drive it more. But if it's to the performance levels that I'm getting right now with the stutteriness and the lagginess, then chances are probably not. But I think we can safely say, nonetheless, it is definitely an improvement to the previous edition of the route, and Dovetail Games have definitely succeeded in remastering and upping this route to a more modern standard. So fair play to you guys, and well done to the developers at Dovetail Games. So thank you for watching, guys. It's been Samuel Beeman of British Locomotive Studios. If you'd like to see me do some more Train Sim World 6 videos, let me know in the comments, and yeah, I can do some more on this route or any other route within the game. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video. Goodbye for now.